Hey everyone, this is Brian Warmer, and you know my YouTube name. And I'm here to talk about or review a certain pilot episode of a Disney series. Some of you may have heard of this series, some of you may not. The series is known as Bonkers. Now, for some of you that don't know the series came out in 1993. Eerie. But the characters came out in 1992. Now let me explain. You see, in 1992, Disney had a Saturday morning series on CBS called Raw Tunage. This was basically like a variety show. And you had two major animated shorts. He's Bonkers, in which this series is spun from, and Masupalami. Now in 1993, both shorts ended up getting their own animated series. Masupalami stayed on Saturday mornings on CBS. Well, Bonkers hit the Disney afternoon in his own animated series. Now, time to give you a little bit of a backstory on the series. You see, originally the Bonkers series was to star Bonkers the Bobcat and his partner Miranda Wright. Now you might remember or know Miranda from the later episodes of Bonkers after the Lucky Piquel one. The reason it went from Miranda to Lucky, if you will, is because originally 63 or 65 episodes of Bonkers and Miranda were ordered, but only 19 survived because the other 44 or 42, even though they may have been written well, animation was not so good. So they were trashed or put in the vaults. So Disney hired another writer to revamp the series and give it a more darker tone and introduce Bonkers' newest human partner, Lucky Piquel. Now what this new writer did as well is he created a pilot episode called Going Bonkers. This explained how Bonkers went to being a toon cop. You see, it kind of ties into when he starred in the He's Bonkers shorts on Raw Tunage. Basically, those He's Bonkers shorts would have taken place in Toontown / Hollywood years before he became a cop. Now in the pilot episode, Bonkers and his friends, in the pilot episode, which I'm going to get to right now, in the pilot episode, Bonkers and his friends are fired from Wacky Toon Studios, in which all his animated shorts that were seen on Raw Tunage were made. The reason for this is because Bonkers and his friends were trampled by another rival studio's action-adventure series. So Wacky Toon Studios owner, WWE Wacky, felt the only way to regain his status as top studio was to cancel Bonkers and bring in an action-adventure show in his place. Now depressed and distraught, Bonkers and his friends ended up wandering the streets. Now, unknown to them, at the same time they were fired and let go, an evil villain known as the Collector was lurking under the city in the sewers. Now the Collector was actually a human, that's right, a human in disguise as a toon, with multiple animal parts or toon parts covering his entire body. His motive was basically the fact that he collected toons and toon memorabilia. In this case, his ultimate collection that he wanted was Bonkers and his friends. Now, after a while, while they were walking down the street in the rain, Bonkers' friends, unknowing to him as he is just drowning in his own despair of being fired, his friends are captured by the Collector. And basically put into this machine called the Laminator, which keeps them alive and well, but immobile like living statues. In other words, they're instilled in plastic because of this thing, but are made into basically living statues inside the plastic. Now, how does Bonkers find out about this? Well, Bonkers accidentally, as he's sulking in the park on a park bench, hears Donald Duck's cry for help and thinks Donald's probably there to scout new talent. Now, inadvertently, Bonkers ends up helping Lucky Piquel, when he's still an officer or a patrolman, help catch a park mugger and save Donald Duck. Now the chief, unknowing to him, thinks Bonkers has actually been a cop undercover as a Hollywood toon star. So the chief offers Bonkers a job in the toon division, and Lucky ends up reluctantly becoming Bonkers' partner because Bonkers chooses him to be his detective partner. Now what happens is the first case is to find a missing toon bear called Bubba Bear, who, like Bonkers' friends, is captured by the collector and sealed in plastic by this laminator. Now, through some ups and downs, of the relationship Bonkers and Lucky start to develop, well, Bonkers finally starts to realize, or starts to believe, maybe Lucky's right. Maybe he's not really cut out to be a cop, and Bonkers ends up temporarily quitting his new job because he feels Lucky doesn't want him around because earlier on, Lucky finds out that Bonkers isn't a real cop, but just a Hollywood toon star that the chief thought was a cop in undercover. Anyway, Bonkers ends up being captured later on himself after, like I say, temporarily quitting the police force because he feels as though Lucky's right. Maybe he's not, really ready to be a cop, or shouldn't be a cop. And by being captured by the collector, or should I say the collector's sidekick, Mr. Doodles, Bonkers finally discovers what has happened to his friends. Now, just as Bonkers is about to be laminated himself, his pet dog, or Horn, Toots, is able to get away and tell Lucky, who surprisingly understands him, what is really going on. So Lucky comes down to Bonkers' rescue, and with the help of Bonkers, is able to not only defeat the collector and expose him for the geeky human nerd that he is, but also free Bonkers' friends. Now what happens to the collector at the end is he falls into a thing called the prop box, which I don't know is like an alternate dimension or something, I really don't know. But he ends up being defeated in the end and sent to the big house. Now towards the end of the pilot, Bonkers' former boss, WW Wacky, finally catches up to Bonkers and says, "Hey, I want you back. The show I tried to replace you with isn't working out. I want you and your friends back." And just when it looks like Bonkers is about to become a star again, Lucky quietly looks at a picture of Bonkers and says he's going to miss that Bobcat, in which Bonkers jumps out of the picture and decides he wants to be a cop over being a star. Now, for some of you that haven't seen the Going Bonkers pilot for Bonkers, I suggest that you can find it on eBay probably for a good price, cheap price, or look online. Look on the certain video sites, if you will, and I guarantee you certain video sites will have that episode up. Or just ask around, and you're bound to find it. It's a very good episode, and so is its sequel, which is called New Partners on the Block, which was also made by the same guy that revamped the series, and kind of explained how Bonkers went to having from having Lucky as his partner to Miranda Wright as his partner. But anyway, that's all I have to say about the Going Bonkers pilot. I hope you enjoyed my little review here. I know I didn't have no stills or anything, or any pictures, just talked about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, just look around. You can probably find them on video sites. You can probably find them online in other online on eBay or iOffers or whatever. And I guarantee you watch it, you're going to have the time of your life. It's a good episode. And I suggest that you try to find and ask for the uncut version, which was shown in the original pilot airing back in 1993. Not this version, I mean, this version's good and everything, but the original pilot airing, which I have, has extra scenes in there that were taken out during the releasing of this cassette, and of the pilot, and as well as the original miniseries 2-part airing on the weekday Disney afternoon. But anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, any comments, just leave them on the page. And until next time, I'm Brian Walmer with my review of the Going Bonkers pilot for the Disney Bonkers series, and I will talk to you all next time. Peace out and God bless.